quick talk, little demo, more demo than anything, scratch glass restoration. I'm sure people have run into scratch glass in the field, maybe not from fabricated debris, but from a tree, branch falling, really scratching the window, kids, dogs on the sliding glass doors and in low-level windows like that. Someone dropping their scrubber on the ground, picking it right up, putting it right to the glass, and having some dirt or rocks in there. Tear everything apart pretty good. Now, this is great when you cause the damage. Inadvertently, like I said, the scrubber gets in there, customer notices there's a nice little scratch in the window, so no problem, we'll take it out for you. Or if like the customer has a dog and it likes to slide the glass door and it rips it apart, there's always marks on it, you can remove them. As far as pricing goes for this, I would charge right under replacement cost. It's either replace it for X amount or for 2/3 of that price. Let me see if I can get the scratch out for you. It doesn't go all the way out. There's some distortion. We can adjust the price a little bit more. But that's scratch glass restoration. They say, people that manufacture this machine, that you shouldn't use it to remove fabricating debris, scratches from fabricating debris, excuse me, because you run the risk of dislodging more and twirling it around and ruining more glass. But I know someone who said that they have repaired fabricated debris scratches with it, but it's a toss-up. I wouldn't bother with it because you'd just be wasting your time, and you're just wasting everybody's time in general. The machine that we have here is made by SRP, a company that makes it's called Shatterproof. They recently just ditched all of their suppliers, or one of them, but you can still get them direct from the factory. The people in the factory are very nice, easy to work with. They make you sign an agreement saying you won't take this out of the country, you won't use it out of the country. That includes Canada too. They're just, they have territories they give the people, and they're very strict about keeping that up. The machine here, what we have is one big motor, and here there's just a belt drive system. It goes to this shaft here. It goes to this shroud in the center. It's a felt pad. It's just like a pool table felt. It's the same thing. It's just compressed very hard. The shroud here actually vacuum seals to the window. This hose right here, it's my inlet hose. Goes in, pumps a slurry. I'm going to get ahead of myself a little bit. Pumps a slurry from this bucket through the inlet hose, down, comes out the center here. You can see, you guys can come up and look at this in a little bit. There's little channels kind of dug in here. It's dispersed through the channels rather quickly because it's spinning, and this gets sucked to the glass, and just the waste comes right back out here, gets recycled through a pump, and keeps going and going and going. Now, if you use this machine for a while, what you have to do is rough up this pad again, because if it becomes smooth, it becomes ineffective. They give you a giant file with it. You literally beat this thing with a file to get this a little more beat up, and maybe some craters in there, a place for the slurry to hide. You also have to dig out the channels every once in a while. Just take a razor blade, and V it out, so the slurry moves throughout there. The slurry becomes very hot. One, from the friction caused by the pad on the glass. Two, by the pump in the bucket. When the slurry becomes hot, it becomes ineffective. You have to just sit there and wait for it to cool. I've used this thing all day before. What I did, I took, we use their towel bins. They're big Rubbermaid tubs. You fill it with a couple bags of ice and put that bucket inside that, so it always keeps it cool. Keep the lid cracked a little bit. There's ways to keep your slurry effective, but that was after 8 hours of straight work with this thing. Out of all the systems on the market, this one, you get really great results with it. It's just tiring. It's a little heavy. It's loud. It's not super aggressive. It's a slow working process, so you're not going to just damage your glass very easily or anything like that. It takes a while. There's some other ones in the market that are dry. One by the GlassRenu, there's Scratch Hog. That one's not dry. It's actually a paste you put in the window, but the GlassRenu is just dry. It's just different pads, and you just go ahead and buff the glass that way. I've heard that one works very well, but I've yet to get my hands on one of those systems. Any questions about the system?
Because it works slower, does that help with the distortion? Keeps the distortion to a minimum?
It does, because you can see when you start to distort it, the what you do when you do start to notice distortion, you can see, you can feel it just waves in the glass caused by heat and glass disappearing. All you do is just make bigger circles, smooth out the entire area, and distortion kind of goes away. But in essence, you are just removing glass, so there is going to be a little bit of distortion with everything.
Mike, can you clarify this? I've heard this before, that it is not possible to put one of those machines on glass without distorting the glass. It's whether or not that distortion is visible to the customer. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, because you're removing glass. I mean, I've done some work with some True Divide before where you're limited. You can't go all the way to the edge of the window. Because of the shroud in there, it's just not possible. You're only in one spot and you're going back and forth like this to get rid of it. You can't go side to side to smooth out those lines. You can feel with your finger. It's okay, dip. Come back out of the dip. You can actually feel it in the glass, but it's that or get new French doors. Biggest job I ever did with it was something like 25 scratches out of True Divide doors, and it was very labor intensive, distortion that you could see, but it was better than scratches. The customer was happy in the end. Any other questions?
What does something like that cost?
This unit, it's called a polishing unit. They have this and they have a fining unit. It's called the finer. Finer's a little bit more expensive, I believe. This is about $2,400. You get that machine, you get the bucket, the plugs, you get the slurry powder you put in there. I just put new powder in there right now. It's good for about 40 working hours. Maybe they give you 6 or 7 bags. It's not that bad. Along with this, we got a system called the Surface Wizard, which is a small angle grinder basically. It doesn't have that much power, but it's good for smaller scratches, kind of around the edge of the window. A whole different kinds of compounds of that, different pads and everything. And that one works pretty well too, just for minor stuff around the edge, or using it to get rid of stains. Works well that way too. What we've done here, we have a standard piece of glass. I'm going to walk around with this. Tony put a scratch in here. Sorry. You can see the scratch. Use the corner of another piece of glass to do it. Also a good demonstration of how glass.
Does it make a difference when you're doing the scratch removal if the glass is tempered or not tempered?
Tempered glass seems to take a little bit longer to work with. That's about it.
And what about the silver side of the glass? Does that make any difference to you?
I don't believe so. All I did here was use a marker and circle the scratch to the back side. So I'm not
Tin that changes the chemical reaction when you're just doing a mechanical process here.
So, Tony's going to give me a hand holding this thing. I'm going to work this scratch out. You know, ideally the windows would be fixed in place, and we'll need a second set of hands to help you. The machine, like I said, it's a little heavy. You can all come up and, you know, get your hands on it in a few minutes if you like. The best place to work with this thing, because you have to keep it on the glass, is chest to head level right in here, because it's just over your head. You don't have enough strength to keep it on the glass. Any lower, it comes off on you. So the system does take some getting used to.